I think I'm going to just name this video and the hits keep coming, because every time you do something, something else breaks. So hello everyone, I am Bob.
I'm Carrie.
And now back to real life with 25 Plus Life. So here we are about a week or so later, and we're back in New Hampshire. So we did it. So we're going to cover what exactly happened in Pennsylvania. We're going to cover the status of the house sale and how that is going, and all that goodness that has to do with real life and this journey to go full time. So, but first, we have some business to take care of.
Continue on Route 10.
And we're going to continue on Route 10. So stick around.
Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
So here we are doing something that we normally don't like to show on camera, but I kind of thought it would be interesting to point out where we are. Here, if you can follow me over here as we dump here. So one of the things we had the issue of is our RV sitting for a week while the transmission was being repaired on the truck. We had a full black tank, and coming back to that was heavenly. So as we boogied back from Pennsylvania, which I'll cover in a few minutes, we didn't dump the black tank. So looking around, if you're down south and you're out west, you can find typically Love's or some truck stops or stuff like that that will have a dump station for you. We couldn't find any. A few of the Love's that we had seen said they had a dump station, didn't. Long story short, it left us with a full black tank, and about a month before we're ready to depart. So after doing a little bit of research, and we happen to remember also that when we had the black tank valve repaired, it also had a full black tank, and our repair people had brought it here. We have a truck go by, and we're in Keene near the airport. We are at the wastewater treatment facility, and if you come back over here, they have a space set up for campers and RV use only. Really nice setup with water, non-potable and stuff like that. So if you're in a bind and you need a place to dump, this is free of charge. Wastewater treatment plants seem to be a viable option, and most will have, in a bigger area such as Keene, will have a setup just like this. So I'm going to get cleaned up here. We're going to flush everything out, get ourselves ready to roll here, because we do have to winterize, which I'm going to cover for why we're going to be doing that shortly. Once we get pulled over, it's a great little picnic area. We'll sit down. We're going to go through the whole experience of the last week. And more importantly, how's that for parking? Oof, that's pretty close. All right, so before this video turns into talking shit with Bob and Carrie, we're going to bring you up to speed. Just about a mile down the road is that dump station. And this is outside of the Keene airport. And wow, look at these colors, folks. This is the end of September, beginning of October here. And it just looks absolutely, absolutely incredible. Well, unfortunately, we don't care, because we're trying to get away from all of this. And as pretty as this is, and as nice of a distraction it is, yeah, I don't care. So we're going to bring up to speed as to what happened with the rig, with the trailer, and everything else. So last video, we were in Hershey, and we caught the last hour to 45 minutes of the Hershey RV show. And we did get to see a couple of models from Redesigned, and we got to see the Cougar from Keystone. And it became quickly abundantly clear to us that our goals of going with the Keystone Cougar were probably not a good idea, because it just wasn't going to fit. I think the finish on the Imagine from Redesigned, the 22 MLE, is probably going to be where we go, just because it has more storage. It seems overall less problems as you start digging into the forums, and quite honestly, it's cheaper. And on some levels, almost 10 grand cheaper. And yeah, so we'll dive more into that as we get a little closer. But as far as the truck, so we got home that night and we drove straight down to PA, and then we drove straight back, and it was quite a long, exhausting thing, only to turn around and take the rental car back to Hartford, Connecticut, because that was the closest drop off for, who do we use? Hertz. So first and foremost, a big shout out to our son RJ. We really appreciate you stepping up and helping us in a bind. For those of you caught or did not catch last week's video, I decided to, in my great wisdom, travel down to Hershey with just bank cards because we don't really use credit cards that much. We have them for emergencies, and wouldn't it have been great, because that would have been the emergency to have one. Renting a car without a credit card is a nightmare. Fortunately, I had the foresight 27 years ago and named our son Junior. You had no involvement. And because of that, we have the same name on credit cards. So he was able to give me his number over the phone, and I was able to charge it and pay him back once we got back. So again, Junior, really appreciative of that.
I thought you weren't talking shishi. It's getting a little deep in here.
But it was good to have. So we highly recommend, if you're about to have a kid, think about naming it Junior and make sure that his credit score is good so he has credit cards. So that being said, where we ended up with the truck. So Tim's Auto Repair and Towing out of Hazleton, PA. Tim, you're an awesome dude, and we are so grateful for everything you were able to do for us and get us in Tamara to get us back on the road. They went above and beyond. They drove us all over the place to get a rental car. They had us in and out within a week. They even offered for us to stay there and plug into their facility, but we had business back here that we had to take care of. So the truck. So the truck here is now the proud owner of a new transmission. So it was the transmission that went. Carrie and I talked about it briefly and decided that the best course of action was to replace the transmission. And at the same time, we looked up some specs. We went with a heavier duty transmission cooler. And I've also learned that I probably should slow down my speed as far as towing and stuff like that. And I should also look to make sure that I'm changing my transmission fluid more often because the more research I did, it was probably my fault for blowing the transmission. So needless to say, the new transmission solved the problem. We're back in, we're up and running. And that brings us to the good part. So that brings us to the house. So as we were down in Pennsylvania, we found that the open house was scheduled for Saturday. And we were down in PA on Friday. Okay, so we had a couple of people schedule prior to the open house to do some, walkthroughs and whatever. And on Friday night, we received an offer. From, I guess, the first couple that came in. The offer was satisfactory for us, and as an added bonus, we believe firmly in the universe shall provide. And there's signs and things of what you should do all over the place, and I'm not making a religious thing or anything like that, but just in general. So we're in New Hampshire. The couple that was that made the offer was from Carrie's hometown in Connecticut, which is really a small town. A lot of septic trucks running through here, which is really a small town. So the odds of them coming up here like we did 17 years ago and looking to buy that house in that neighborhood in that town was pretty cool. So that's where we're at. So now we're waiting. We have to go through the inspection process, which I'm not too worried about, and then we go on from there. So they did ask for earlier closing than what we were anticipating, which could be good. So all in all, we're very happy with the way things are going. We look like we should be in South Carolina hopefully by Thanksgiving, which was ultimately Carrie's goal last year when we were, or actually the beginning of this year when we were down there in January.
Well, yeah, it was actually for Christmas. I wanted to spend a Christmas down south.
So yeah, so that's where we're at, and now the process begins of cleaning everything out, getting rid of stuff, and deciding what we're going to do.
There's a long time of stuff in
Yeah,
that house.
17 years we've been in this
Yeah.
house, so it's kind of an interesting thing to go through, and the process is interesting. So we are happy to share this journey with you, because I know there's a lot of you that have been watching our videos and wondering, you know, do you have to have a trust fund to go full-time? Do you have to have, you know, some kind of, do you have to be an author and have a book settlement deal that you're getting royalties on? No, you don't. And yeah, so there's, and you don't have to, what's the other one? The e-bagger thing. No, you don't have to be an e-bagger either.
No.
You can just come out here and make videos for fun because that's what you like to do, and nobody needs to send you money. It's just awesome. There's no Patreon, there's no whatever, there's no sponsorships, and that's great. So, you know, it's just a thing that we've learned very quickly in the past few years of doing this, that if you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. And it doesn't need to be an end-all, break-all thing in order to accomplish. So
This is true.
and that said, we are very blessed to be where we are, but we've also put in a lot of work, and we've worked our asses off to get here too, so that kind of makes it help too. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to wrap up the video here, and get back on the road, because we need to get this back to the house, because the Mini is filthy. And then we also want to do, a lot of you have been asking for an update video how this has been handled for the past 3 or 4 years, and so we're going to give you a full review, our thoughts. We'll look for that maybe next week or the week after, as we decide what's going to be the fate ultimately of our Mini Celly, and see where that goes and all that good stuff. So yeah, till then,
Yeah.
I am Bob.
I'm Carrie.
This is New Hampshire, just outside the Keene Airport. And wow, if you are in the New England area, yeah, you might want to take some of these back roads and check these leaves out before all the people come up here and suck up all the colors.
They sprouted quickly, like
They did.
overnight.
It's a nice little area. Nice little area to have a picnic. So you enjoy that. We'll catch you next week.
When you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still